Before pencils, before paint tubes, before sketchbooks, there was charcoal. One of the oldest art materials in human history, used in prehistoric caves, in Renaissance studios, and still used by artists today. And despite its ancient origins, it might be one of the most expressive drawing tools you can pick up. At its most basic level, charcoal is burned organic material, usually wood, vines, or willow branches that have been heated in a low oxygen environment. That process removes moisture and impurities, leaving behind a lightweight, carbon-rich material that creates deep black marks when dragged across paper. Unlike graphite, charcoal sits more loosely on the surface of the paper. That means it can be smudged, blended, and reworked with incredible ease. Charcoal is one of the first known drawing materials ever used by humans. Evidence of charcoal marks appears in prehistoric cave paintings dating back tens of thousands of years. Centuries later, artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo used it for quick studies, anatomy sketches, and planning larger works. Its speed made it perfect for capturing ideas before they disappeared. By the 19th century, charcoal had evolved from a sketching tool into a respected finish medium, used for dramatic portraits, landscapes, and high-contrast masterpieces. Now that we know where charcoal comes from, let's talk about the kinds artists use today, because each type behaves differently. Vine charcoal is the softest and lightest form of charcoal. It comes in thin sticks and creates smooth gray marks that erase easily. And if it looks and feels like twigs, that's because it's actually just pieces of vine burned at high temperatures. Because it glides quickly across the page, it's perfect for gesture drawing, warm-ups, and mapping out early shapes in your drawing. Compressed charcoal is powdered charcoal mixed with a binder and formed into rectangular sticks. It's darker, denser, and more durable than vine charcoal. This is what you use when you want rich blacks, strong contrast, and bolder finished drawings. It's also usually more difficult to erase. Charcoal pencils contain compressed charcoal inside a wooden pencil casing. They give you more control, sharper points, and cleaner hands. Great for details, edges, and precision work. Both compressed charcoal and charcoal pencils are commonly available in different hardnesses. Mine are labeled soft, medium, and hard. Like graphite, hard charcoal creates light marks, and soft charcoal creates dark marks. I prefer working with medium and soft charcoal. Now, white chalk isn't completely necessary, but it's very helpful for adding highlights and pushing contrast. A few simple tools make charcoal much easier to control. You may have seen kneaded erasers in my last video about graphite. They can also be effective for charcoal, but bear in mind that charcoal is more difficult to erase than graphite. Just like with graphite, kneaded erasers lift charcoal gently, create highlights, and can be shaped into points for small details. Blending smudges are great for blending between values and soft transitions. I mentioned in my last video that I prefer not to use my fingertips for smudging because the oils in your skin mix with the medium, so I use these instead. When I was in the classroom, I often had students tell me that using charcoal was a sensory nightmare between the texture and the mess, so these are a great way to avoid that. Instead of using a pencil sharpener to sharpen your charcoal, you can use sandpaper. These blocks work for both sticks and pencils. While regular sandpaper will work just fine, these are great because they have a handle and tearaway pages. Fixative helps protect finished drawings from smearing. There are multiple finishes available, like matte and gloss, and even some called workable fixative that allows you to continue drawing after you've sprayed it. Fixative must always be used in a well-ventilated area, so it's best to take it outside. Give it a good shake, then spray it in sweeping motion 6 to 12 inches away from your paper. Wait until it dries completely between coats, but 2 to 3 coats should do the trick. Smooth paper, like newsprint or drawing paper, can work for quick sketches, but charcoal can be utilized to its full potential on a paper with a bit of a tooth to it. That means that it has a textured surface that grabs the charcoal particles. Workable fixative can actually be used to create that tooth if your paper doesn't have it. Great options for paper include newsprint, charcoal or pastel paper, heavyweight vellum, mixed media paper, and tone paper in gray or tan. So now that you know the tools, let's actually draw. First up, gesture drawing. Gesture drawings are fast drawings focused on rhythm and overall energy, not tiny details. Don't fall into the trap of attempting to add detail before the entire form is sketched in place. I'm using vine charcoal because it moves quickly, stays light, and erases easily if I need to adjust proportions. Notice how I'm holding the charcoal farther back and making sweeping lines instead of tight wrist movements. This is one of the best warm-ups you can do before any serious drawing session. Gesture drawing helps you understand your subject overall. or can simply help your brain and hand communicate more effectively, kind of like a musician playing scales. Now let's move into a quick still life style drawing using compressed charcoal. Compressed charcoal is better at creating richer blacks and a stronger value range than vine charcoal. Here I'm thinking less about outlines and more about light and shadow. I've selected a photo that clearly has highlights, midtones, and shadows, which are good qualities to seek out when selecting a subject for still life artwork. I first blocked in large shapes using the tip of the compressed charcoal, then I added midtones with the side of the charcoal. Finally, I pushed the darkest darks for more contrast and depth. Just like graphite, it's important to work in layers. I use a blending sponge to soften transitions, then a kneaded eraser to pull back highlights. Notice that this paper has texture and creates a soft grain within the drawing. For the final drawing, I'm combining several forms of charcoal to show how professionals often work in layers. I begin by lightly mapping the proportions and major shapes using my vine charcoal. I'm keeping my marks light so that if I need to correct anything, I still can. Then I start building areas of midtones and shadow with my compressed charcoal. I use the side of the stick to add larger areas and the tip for areas where I need more control. Next, I'll use the charcoal pencil for highly detailed areas where I need the most precision. This is especially great for the teeth, cracks, and textures. I switch back and forth between the pencil and compressed stick as I near the end of the drawing. Finally, I add white chalk for the brightest highlights and to give the drawing even more dimensional contrast. White pops especially well on the toned paper. A layered approach like this allows artists to gradually build value, contrast, texture, and depth. It creates a rich visual history in your drawing, whereas a single layer would often fall flat. I had initially planned on using the blending sponges in this drawing, but decided not to after I started because I loved the texture of the rough charcoal. It's okay to blend or not blend based on your personal style. And that's why charcoal has remained one of the most powerful drawing tools for millennia. It works for fast, expressive sketches and bold, finished artwork. Now I've got a challenge for you. This week, try 2 different forms of charcoal, and then come back and tell me in the comments. Which one was your favorite, and why? I'd love to hear what worked best for you. And if you want to keep building your drawing skills, make sure you subscribe, because in the next episode, we're switching gears to one of the most popular media of all time, colored pencils. I'll explain their history, the tools you actually need, blending techniques, layering, and how to get rich professional results. So if you're ready to add a little color to your life, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.